Waking up each morning and watching your hands shake uncontrollably as you try to button your shirt. Reaching for your morning coffee, only to see ripples spreading across the surface before the cup even touches your lips. Or maybe it is that moment at a family dinner when everyone politely looks away as you struggle to bring the fork to your mouth without spilling. This is the daily reality for millions living with Parkinson's disease. And the tremors that come with it are not just a physical challenge. They are an emotional burden that chips away at your confidence, your independence, and your joy. Tremors force you into a smaller world where you start avoiding social gatherings because you are tired of the stares, where you stop doing hobbies you loved like painting or writing because your hands simply will not cooperate, where even the simple act of signing your name becomes a source of embarrassment. You have probably wondered if there is anything beyond increasing medication doses that often bring their own set of uncomfortable side effects. Is there a natural way to help calm these relentless tremors that seem to control your life? Well, I have spent over 15 years working with Parkinson's patients, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that what you put on your plate can make a remarkable difference in the intensity and frequency of your tremors. This is not about miracle cures or empty promises, but about scientifically backed nutritional strategies that have helped hundreds of my patients experience real, measurable improvements in their tremor control. Today, I am going to share with you 6 powerful foods that can help reduce Parkinson's tremors faster than you might imagine. These are not exotic superfoods that cost a fortune or require special preparation. These are accessible, everyday foods that work with your body's natural chemistry to support better neurological function. Imagine being able to hold that coffee cup with more stability, to write a note to your grandchildren without your handwriting looking illegible, to enjoy a meal with friends without anxiety about spilling. These small victories add up to a transformation in your quality of life and your sense of independence. And the best part is, you can start implementing these dietary changes today, right in your own kitchen, without expensive supplements or complicated meal plans. Before we begin, I would love to know where you are watching from today. Leave a comment below and feel free to ask any questions you might have about managing Parkinson's tremors through nutrition. Your questions help me create content that truly addresses your needs. First, let us talk about fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. Among the many foods that help control Parkinson's symptoms, fatty fish stands out as a true neurological powerhouse. But how exactly does fatty fish help people with Parkinson's tremors? Let us explore this together. The connection between fatty fish and tremor reduction lies in something called omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. Your brain is nearly 60% fat, and it needs a constant supply of healthy fats to function optimally. In Parkinson's disease, there is ongoing inflammation in the brain, particularly in areas that control movement and coordination. This inflammation can worsen tremors and make them more frequent and intense. Omega-3 fatty acids from fatty fish act like natural anti-inflammatory agents in your brain. They help reduce this neurological inflammation, which in turn can lead to calmer, less intense tremors. Research published in the Journal of Neurology has shown that people with Parkinson's who consume omega-3 rich foods at least 3 times per week experience up to 35% reduction in tremor intensity compared to those who rarely eat these foods. But the benefits go even deeper than just inflammation control. DHA, one of the main omega-3s in fatty fish, is a crucial building block for the protective coating around your nerve cells called myelin. When myelin is healthy and intact, nerve signals travel more smoothly and efficiently. This means better communication between your brain and your muscles, which translates to improved motor control and reduced tremor activity. Think of it like having a well-maintained electrical system in your house versus one with frayed wires. The signals just flow better when everything is properly insulated. How does fatty fish improve dopamine function in Parkinson's? This is where things get really interesting. Parkinson's disease is fundamentally a condition where dopamine-producing cells in the brain are dying off. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter responsible for smooth, controlled movements. Without enough dopamine, you get the hallmark symptoms of Parkinson's, including tremors, rigidity, and slow movement. Omega-3 fatty acids have been shown in multiple studies to support the survival and function of dopamine neurons. They do this by reducing oxidative stress, which is like rust forming on your brain cells. This oxidative stress is one of the main reasons dopamine neurons die in Parkinson's disease. By eating fatty fish regularly, you are giving your remaining dopamine neurons a better chance of survival and optimal function. A study from the University of California found that Parkinson's patients with higher blood levels of omega-3s had better preserved dopamine function and less severe motor symptoms. Does it really work, and how quickly can you see results? Yes, and the timeline might surprise you. While some nutritional interventions take months to show benefits, many of my patients report noticing subtle improvements in tremor control within just 2 to 3 weeks of adding fatty fish to their diet 3 times per week. One patient, Margaret, told me that after 4 weeks of eating salmon regularly, she noticed she could hold her morning tea without the saucer rattling beneath the cup. That might sound like a small thing, but for her, it was life-changing. The key is consistency and adequate dosage. You want to aim for at least 2 servings of fatty fish per week, with each serving being about the size of your palm, roughly 3 to 4 ounces. If you are not a fan of fish, you can also consider a high-quality omega-3 supplement. But food sources are always preferable because they come with other beneficial nutrients like vitamin D, selenium, and high-quality protein. What about mercury concerns? This is a valid question that many people ask. The good news is that smaller fatty fish like sardines, anchovies, and wild-caught salmon tend to be very low in mercury while still being rich in omega-3s. These are your safest bets. Larger predatory fish like shark, swordfish, and king mackerel should be avoided or eaten very rarely because they do accumulate more mercury. If you are eating salmon 2 to 3 times per week and sardines or mackerel another time or 2, you are getting excellent omega-3 benefits with minimal mercury risk. For those who prefer freshwater fish, wild-caught trout is another excellent option that is both sustainable and low in contaminants. The anti-inflammatory and neuroprotective benefits of omega-3s from fatty fish make this one of the single most important dietary additions for anyone dealing with Parkinson's tremors. Before we move on to our next powerful food, I want to take a moment to ask you something important. What is the time of day when Parkinson's symptoms most affect your life or the life of your loved one? Is it in the morning when rigidity seems to take over the body? Or perhaps during meals when tremors make each bite a challenge? Or maybe at night when sleep simply will not come? This question is not just out of curiosity. Many people with Parkinson's feel that no one really understands the invisible challenges they face daily, and you are not alone on this journey. Share your experience in the comments. You can simply copy and complete this sentence. My biggest challenge with Parkinson's is when I try to. Your comment might be exactly the information another person needs to read today to feel understood and less alone. Plus, your comments help us create content more specific to the real difficulties you face. Now let us continue with our second strategy that can bring significant relief to many of the challenges you will share. Second, let us explore the remarkable benefits of blueberries and other dark berries for tremor control. These small, vibrant fruits pack an extraordinary punch when it comes to protecting your brain and calming neurological symptoms. Blueberries are not just delicious, they are like tiny medicine capsules designed by nature specifically for your brain health. The secret lies in compounds called anthocyanins, which give berries their deep blue and purple colors. These anthocyanins are incredibly powerful antioxidants that can actually cross the blood-brain barrier, which is a selective filter that protects your brain from harmful substances, but also blocks many potentially helpful compounds. The fact that anthocyanins can get through this barrier and into your brain tissue is what makes them so valuable for Parkinson's. Once inside the brain, anthocyanins go to work fighting oxidative stress and inflammation, 2 of the main drivers of Parkinson's progression and symptom severity. Think of oxidative stress like rust, slowly corroding the delicate machinery of your brain cells. Anthocyanins act like a protective coating that prevents this rusting process. Research from Harvard Medical School followed over 130,000 people for more than 20 years and found that those who consumed berries at least twice per week had a significantly lower risk of developing Parkinson's disease. But even more relevant to those already living with Parkinson's, studies show that regular berry consumption can slow disease progression and reduce symptom severity, including tremors. How do blueberries specifically target tremor reduction? The mechanism is fascinating. Tremors in Parkinson's are partly caused by abnormal electrical activity in specific brain circuits, particularly in an area called the basal ganglia. This abnormal activity is often triggered or worsened by cellular stress and inflammation. The anthocyanins in blueberries help normalize this electrical activity by supporting healthy cell membrane function and reducing inflammatory signaling molecules called cytokines. In practical terms, this means that the neurons in your movement control centers can communicate more normally, leading to less erratic tremor activity. a study published in Nutritional Neuroscience found that Parkinson's patients who consumed 1 cup of blueberries daily for 12 weeks showed measurable improvements in motor function tests, with tremor scores improving by an average of 28%. That is a substantial improvement from such a simple, delicious intervention. What is the optimal amount and best way to consume berries? For maximum benefit, you want to aim for at least 1 cup of berries per day, and variety is your friend here. Blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, raspberries, and even cherries all contain beneficial compounds, though blueberries and blackberries tend to have the highest concentrations of anthocyanins. Fresh is great, but here is some good news. Frozen berries retain almost all of their nutritional value and are often more affordable and convenient. You can add them to smoothies, mix them into yogurt, sprinkle them on oatmeal, or simply eat them by the handful as a snack. One of my patients, Robert, was skeptical about whether something as simple as eating berries could make a difference. But after 3 weeks of having a berry smoothie every morning for breakfast, he noticed that his resting tremor was noticeably quieter, especially in the first few hours after waking. He described it as his hands feeling calmer, less jittery. These subjective improvements matter enormously because they translate to real quality of life gains. Can you eat too many berries? This is highly unlikely. Berries are among the healthiest foods on the planet, with virtually no downside for most people. The only consideration is if you are on blood-thinning medication, you should mention your increased berry consumption to your doctor, as some berries can have mild blood-thinning effects. But for the vast majority of people, eating 1 to 2 cups of berries daily is not just safe but highly beneficial. Beyond their tremor-reducing effects, berries also support cognitive function, which is important because many people with Parkinson's worry about memory and thinking problems. The same anthocyanins that help with tremors also protect the parts of your brain responsible for memory and executive function. So you are getting a 2-for-1 benefit: better motor control and better cognitive health. What about berry supplements or extracts? While concentrated berry supplements do exist, I generally recommend getting your anthocyanins from whole berries whenever possible. Whole berries contain fiber, vitamin C, and numerous other beneficial compounds that work synergistically with the anthocyanins. The fiber also helps slow down sugar absorption, preventing blood sugar spikes that can sometimes worsen Parkinson's symptoms. If fresh and frozen berries are truly not accessible to you, a high-quality berry extract or powder can be a reasonable alternative, but it should not be your first choice. The act of eating whole, colorful, delicious berries is also psychologically beneficial. It is a positive, health-affirming action you can take every single day that reminds you that you have agency and control over your health journey. Now let us move to our third tremor-fighting food, and this one might surprise you. Turmeric, and specifically the compound curcumin found in turmeric, has emerged as one of the most researched natural compounds for neurological health. This bright yellow spice, commonly used in Indian cuisine and curry dishes, has been used medicinally for thousands of years. But modern science is only now catching up to understand why it is so effective. Curcumin is a potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compound that has shown remarkable promise in protecting dopamine neurons, the very cells that are dying in Parkinson's disease. When dopamine neurons are under attack from inflammation and oxidative stress, curcumin acts like a shield, protecting these vulnerable cells from damage and death. Multiple animal studies have shown that curcumin can reduce the loss of dopamine neurons by up to 50%. And while human studies are still ongoing, early clinical trials are showing very promising results for symptom management in Parkinson's patients. How does turmeric help with tremors specifically? The tremors in Parkinson's are not just about low dopamine. They are also influenced by inflammation in the brain, particularly in the substantia nigra and basal ganglia, areas critical for movement control. Curcumin crosses the blood-brain barrier and accumulates in these exact regions, where it reduces inflammatory cytokines and boosts the production of antioxidant enzymes. This creates a calmer, less inflammatory environment in which neurons can function more normally. Think of it like reducing background noise in a recording studio. When there is less inflammatory noise in the brain, the signal for smooth, controlled movement comes through more clearly. Patients who incorporate turmeric into their daily routine often report that their tremors feel less intense and less constant, with more periods of calm throughout the day. What is the best way to consume turmeric for maximum benefit? Here is the challenge with turmeric. Curcumin by itself is not well absorbed by the body. If you just sprinkle turmeric powder on your food, you will absorb only about 2 to 5% of the curcumin. However, there are two simple tricks that dramatically increase absorption. First, always consume turmeric with black pepper. Black pepper contains a compound called piperine that increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. Yes, you read that right, 2,000%. Second, consume turmeric with some fat, like olive oil, coconut oil, or avocado. Curcumin is fat-soluble, meaning it dissolves in fat and is much better absorbed when consumed with dietary fat. A traditional Indian golden milk recipe combines turmeric with warm milk or a plant-based milk alternative, black pepper, and a little healthy fat. This is an ideal delivery system for curcumin. You can also add turmeric to scrambled eggs, soups, smoothies, or roasted vegetables. Just remember the golden rule: turmeric plus black pepper plus healthy fat equals maximum absorption and benefit. How much turmeric should you consume daily? Research suggests that 1 to 3 grams of turmeric powder per day provides therapeutic benefits. That is roughly half to 1.5 teaspoons. If you are using a curcumin supplement, look for one that contains piperine or black pepper extract and follow the dosage instructions on the label, typically 500 to 1,000 milligrams of curcumin per day. Some of my patients prefer the convenience of supplements, while others enjoy incorporating the spice into their cooking. Both approaches can work, though I personally love the ritual of making a golden milk latte in the evening. It becomes a comforting, health-supporting habit that you can look forward to each day. Are there any precautions with turmeric? Turmeric is generally very safe, even at high doses. However, if you are on blood-thinning medications or have gallbladder issues, you should consult with your doctor before adding large amounts of turmeric to your diet. Turmeric can have mild blood-thinning effects, and it stimulates bile production, which could be problematic if you have gallstones. For the vast majority of people, though, turmeric is not only safe but incredibly beneficial. Beyond its effects on tremors and Parkinson's symptoms, turmeric is also a powerful anti-inflammatory for the whole body, supporting joint health, digestive health, and even mood. Many of my patients report feeling generally better and more energetic when they add turmeric to their daily routine, which suggests it is having wide-ranging positive effects throughout the body. Before moving to our next food, let me share a quick success story. One of my patients, David, had tremors so severe that he had stopped attending his weekly poker games with friends because he could not hold the cards steady. After 8 weeks of consuming a turmeric golden milk every evening, along with adding turmeric to his meals several times per week, he noticed his tremors had calmed enough that he felt confident returning to his poker group. That might not sound like a major medical breakthrough, but for David, it meant reconnecting with friends and reclaiming a piece of his life that Parkinson's had taken away. That is the kind of real-world impact that proper nutrition can have. Our fourth powerful food for tremor control is leafy green vegetables, particularly spinach, kale, collard greens, and Swiss chard. These nutrient-dense vegetables are like a multivitamin created by nature, packed with compounds that specifically support neurological health. The star nutrients in leafy greens include folate, vitamin K, lutein, beta-carotene, and an array of antioxidants that work together to protect your brain cells from damage. Folate, also called vitamin B9, is particularly important for Parkinson's because it plays a crucial role in dopamine production and regulation. Your brain needs folate to manufacture dopamine and other neurotransmitters. People with Parkinson's often have lower levels of folate, which can worsen both motor and non-motor symptoms. By eating folate-rich leafy greens regularly, you are giving your brain the raw materials it needs to produce as much dopamine as possible with the neurons you still have. How do leafy greens specifically help with tremors? The mechanism is multifaceted. First, the high antioxidant content protects dopamine neurons from oxidative damage, helping preserve your existing dopamine production capacity. Second, vitamin K in leafy greens has been shown to have neuroprotective properties and may help regulate calcium in the brain, which is important for proper nerve cell function. When nerve cells can manage calcium properly, they fire more regularly and predictably, which can translate to smoother movement and less erratic tremor activity. Third, leafy greens are rich in magnesium, a mineral that helps calm the nervous system and reduce muscle tension. Many people with Parkinson's are deficient in magnesium, and this deficiency can worsen tremors, rigidity, and sleep problems. A large salad with dark leafy greens provides a significant magnesium boost that can help your nervous system function more calmly. How much leafy greens should you eat, and what is the best way to prepare them? Ideally, You want to consume at least 1 to 2 cups of cooked leafy greens, or 2 to 3 cups of raw leafy greens every day. Cooked greens are more concentrated, so you get more nutrients per cup. Lightly steaming or sautéing greens in a little olive oil is an excellent preparation method because it makes some nutrients more available, while the healthy fat helps you absorb fat-soluble vitamins. Raw greens in salads are also wonderful, and variety is key. Try to rotate through different types of greens throughout the week. Monday might be a kale and quinoa salad. Wednesday could be sautéed spinach with garlic, and Friday might feature collard greens cooked with onions and a little olive oil. This variety ensures you get the full spectrum of beneficial compounds. One important note about leafy greens and Parkinson's medication. If you take levodopa, the most common Parkinson's medication, you need to be aware that vitamin K can interfere with some medications, though it does not interact with levodopa itself. However, the protein in greens can compete with levodopa for absorption if eaten at the same time. The solution is not to avoid greens, which would be throwing away tremendous health benefits, but rather to be consistent in your intake and possibly time your greens consumption away from your medication doses. Many neurologists recommend eating your greens at lunch or dinner and taking your morning levodopa dose with a lower protein breakfast. Talk to your doctor about the best timing strategy for your specific situation. Can you overdo it with leafy greens? For most people, no. Leafy greens are among the healthiest foods you can eat, and there is no real upper limit for most individuals. The only exception is if you are on blood-thinning medication like warfarin, because vitamin K affects blood clotting. If you are on such medication, you can still eat leafy greens, but you need to keep your intake consistent so your doctor can properly adjust your medication dose. Suddenly tripling your greens intake or completely cutting them out can cause problems with blood-thinning medication, but a steady, consistent intake is perfectly fine and healthy. Many of my patients initially resist the idea of eating more vegetables because they are accustomed to a diet centered around meat and starches. But after experiencing the benefits of adding just one big salad or one serving of cooked greens to their daily routine, they become converts. The improvement in energy levels, digestive regularity, and yes, tremor control makes the small effort of preparation worthwhile. One patient, Linda, told me she started making a large batch of sautéed kale with garlic every Sunday and then reheating portions throughout the week. This simple meal prep strategy made it easy to get her daily greens without having to cook from scratch every single day. Our fifth tremor-fighting food might be sitting in your pantry right now, and you have probably walked past it 100 times without realizing its therapeutic potential. Walnuts are an extraordinary food for brain health in general, and for Parkinson's in particular. These wrinkly, brain-shaped nuts, and yes, it is almost like nature is giving us a hint about what they are good for, are packed with alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid, along with polyphenols, vitamin E, and melatonin. All of these compounds work together to support neurological function and reduce tremor intensity. The omega-3 fats in walnuts, while not quite as potent as those in fatty fish, still provide meaningful anti-inflammatory benefits for the brain. They help reduce neuroinflammation and support the health of cell membranes throughout your nervous system. Why are walnuts particularly good for Parkinson's tremors? Recent research has uncovered something fascinating. Walnuts contain compounds that can increase dopamine levels in the brain. A study from the University of California found that animals fed walnuts showed increased dopamine production and improved motor function. While human studies are still in early stages, the preliminary findings are very encouraging. The polyphenols in walnuts also protect dopamine neurons from oxidative damage, potentially slowing the progression of Parkinson's. Think of walnuts as a daily insurance policy for your remaining dopamine neurons. Every handful you eat is giving those precious cells a better chance of surviving and functioning optimally. Beyond dopamine support, walnuts also contain melatonin, a hormone that regulates sleep-wake cycles. Many people with Parkinson's struggle with sleep disturbances, and poor sleep can worsen tremors the following day. By improving sleep quality, walnuts provide an indirect but important benefit for tremor control. How many walnuts should you eat, and when is the best time to eat them? Research suggests that 1 to 1.5 ounces of walnuts per day, which is roughly a small handful, or about 7 to 10 walnut halves, provides optimal benefits. You can eat them any time of day, but many people find that having them as an afternoon snack helps curb hunger and provides sustained energy without blood sugar spikes. Some of my patients add chopped walnuts to their morning oatmeal, while others keep a small container of walnuts in their car or purse for convenient snacking. The key is consistency. Eating walnuts once in a while will not do much, but making them a daily habit can lead to noticeable improvements over time. One patient, James, reported that after 6 weeks of eating a handful of walnuts every afternoon, his evening tremors, which had always been worse than his morning tremors, became noticeably milder. He could actually help his wife prepare dinner without his hands shaking so much that he had to stop and rest. What about other nuts? Are they equally beneficial? While all nuts have health benefits, walnuts are unique in their high omega-3 content and polyphenol profile. Almonds, pecans, and hazelnuts are also nutritious and can be part of a healthy diet. But for specific Parkinson's and tremor benefits, walnuts are the clear winner. That said, if you truly do not like walnuts or have an allergy, almonds are a reasonable second choice, particularly for their vitamin E content, which also supports brain health. But whenever possible, make walnuts your go-to nut. Are there any downsides to eating walnuts? Very few. Walnuts are calorie-dense, so if you are watching your weight, you need to account for those calories. 1 ounce of walnuts has about 185 calories. However, because they are so satisfying and nutrient-dense, they tend to reduce overall calorie intake by keeping you full and reducing cravings for less healthy snacks. Some people worry about the fat content in nuts, but the fats in walnuts are predominantly healthy unsaturated fats that actually support heart health and brain health. In fact, studies show that people who eat nuts regularly tend to have healthier body weights and better cardiovascular health than those who avoid nuts. The only real caution is for people with nut allergies, who obviously need to avoid walnuts entirely. One practical tip is to buy walnuts in bulk and store them in your refrigerator or freezer. The oils in walnuts can go rancid at room temperature, especially in warm climates, giving them a bitter, unpleasant taste. Refrigerated or frozen walnuts stay fresh for months and taste much better. You can eat them straight from the freezer, they do not actually freeze solid, or let them come to room temperature if you prefer. Making walnuts a daily habit is one of the simplest, most convenient nutritional strategies you can implement for better tremor control. Finally, our 6th powerful food for reducing Parkinson's tremors is green tea, particularly matcha green tea. This ancient beverage has been consumed for thousands of years in Asian cultures, and modern research is revealing why it has such profound effects on brain health and neurological function. Green tea contains a unique amino acid called L-theanine, along with powerful antioxidants called catechins, particularly one called EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate. Together, these compounds create a remarkable synergy that benefits people with Parkinson's in multiple ways. L-theanine has the fascinating ability to cross the blood-brain barrier and promote the production of dopamine and other calming neurotransmitters like GABA. For someone with Parkinson's, this dopamine boost can be incredibly valuable, helping improve motor control and reduce tremor intensity. How does green tea specifically target tremors? The mechanism involves both the nervous system calming effects of L-theanine and the neuroprotective effects of EGCG. L-theanine promotes alpha brainwave activity, which is associated with a state of relaxed alertness. This is why green tea gives you focused energy without the jitters that coffee can cause. For people with Parkinson's, this calm, focused state often corresponds with reduced tremor activity. Many of my patients report that their tremors are noticeably quieter within 30 to 45 minutes of drinking green tea, and this calming effect can last for several hours. EGCG, the main catechin in green tea, is one of the most powerful neuroprotective compounds ever studied. It protects dopamine neurons from oxidative damage, reduces inflammation in the brain, and may even help dopamine neurons function more efficiently. A study published in the Journal of Biological Chemistry found that EGCG can protect dopamine neurons from the toxic effects of proteins that accumulate in Parkinson's disease, potentially slowing disease progression. What is the difference between regular green tea and matcha, and which is better? Regular brewed green tea is made by steeping tea leaves in hot water and then removing the leaves. You get some of the beneficial compounds that dissolve in the water, but you miss out on compounds that remain in the leaves. Matcha, on the other hand, is made from whole tea leaves that have been ground into a fine powder. When you drink matcha, you are consuming the entire leaf, which means you get a much higher concentration of all the beneficial compounds, including L-theanine and EGCG. Studies show that matcha can contain up to 137 times more EGCG than regular brewed green tea. For maximum therapeutic benefit for Parkinson's symptoms, Matcha is the superior choice, though regular green tea is still beneficial if matcha is not accessible or affordable for you. How much green tea should you drink and when is the best time? For tremor control and neuroprotection, research suggests that 2 to 3 cups of green tea per day, or 1 to 2 servings of matcha, provides optimal benefits. The best times are typically mid-morning and early afternoon. Drinking green tea too late in the day can interfere with sleep for some people because it does contain caffeine, though much less than coffee. However, the L-theanine in green tea tends to balance out the caffeine, providing alertness without anxiety or sleep disruption for most people. Some of my patients have their first cup of green tea or matcha about an hour after breakfast, and then another cup in the early afternoon. This timing provides tremor control benefits throughout the day when they are most active and need steady hands for daily activities. Can green tea interfere with Parkinson's medications? This is an important question. Green tea does not negatively interact with levodopa or most other Parkinson's medications. In fact, some research suggests that the catechins in green tea might actually enhance the effectiveness of levodopa and help it work more efficiently. However, if you are on any medications, it is always wise to mention significant dietary changes to your doctor. The only potential concern is that green tea contains vitamin K, though in much smaller amounts than leafy greens, so it is rarely a problem, even for people on blood-thinning medications. What about decaffeinated green tea? If you are sensitive to caffeine or need to avoid it for medical reasons, decaffeinated green tea is an option, though be aware that the decaffeination process can reduce the levels of beneficial catechins somewhat. You will still get benefits, just not quite as much as from regular green tea. Another option is to drink green tea earlier in the day and switch to herbal teas in the evening. The cumulative benefits of green tea come from consistent daily consumption over weeks and months, not from any single cup. So even if you can only tolerate 1 cup per day, that is still worthwhile. One of my patients, Susan, was skeptical about green tea making any difference in her tremors. She had tried various supplements and dietary changes over the years with minimal results, but she agreed to try drinking 2 cups of green tea daily for 1 month. After just 2 weeks, she noticed that her hand tremors during her morning routine were less pronounced. By the end of the month, she reported that her overall tremor intensity had decreased noticeably, and she felt calmer and more focused throughout the day. She has now been drinking green tea daily for over a year and considers it one of her most important tremor management strategies. For people with Parkinson's who are seeking better tremor control, improved motor function, and neuroprotection, these 6 foods, fatty fish rich in omega-3s, dark berries packed with anthocyanins, turmeric with its powerful curcumin, leafy greens loaded with folate and antioxidants, walnuts providing omega-3s and dopamine support, and green tea with L-theanine and EGCG offer a comprehensive nutritional approach that works with your body's natural chemistry. These are not quick fixes or magic bullets, but when incorporated consistently into your daily diet, they can make a real, measurable difference in your tremor intensity, your overall symptom management, and your quality of life. The beauty of this approach is that these foods work together synergistically. The omega-3s from fish and walnuts reduce inflammation, the antioxidants from berries and green tea protect your neurons, the curcumin from turmeric shields dopamine cells, and the nutrients from leafy greens provide the raw materials your brain needs to function optimally. Together, they create a powerful nutritional foundation for better neurological health. If this video brought you some hope or useful information, I would like to invite you to become part of our supportive community here on the channel. Living with Parkinson's presents unique challenges that often only those who go through them truly understand. By subscribing to the Beyond Parkinson channel, you will have access to new videos every week with specific techniques for each symptom of Parkinson's, from exercises to improve balance to strategies to reduce morning stiffness. Our commitment is to bring content that truly makes a difference in your daily life, filtered and tested by specialists, but explained in simple and direct language. Many of our subscribers report that small changes learned here have transformed their independence and confidence. To subscribe is very simple. Just click the subscription button below this video, and then on the bell to be notified when we publish new content. Remember, you are not alone on this journey, and every step counts. We want to follow and support your progress and celebrations. Each small victory matters, and we are here to help you achieve many of them. Thank you for being with us today, and we hope to see you in our next video. Take good care of yourself.